And welcome back to the 4 o'clock show. With COVID cases spiking and the vaccine being rolled out, a legal question is gaining more and more traction. Should or can employers require employees to get vaccinated? I talked to workplace expert Joel Patterson about this thorny issue. Joel Patterson with the Vested Group, thanks so much for joining us today, Joel. We appreciate it. This is really a fascinating subject to me, both ethically and legally. The question is, in the interest of providing a safe workplace, do employers have a right to require employees to be vaccinated? What are you hearing on that?
Well, first of all, they absolutely have the right to do so, and it's a pretty long precedent. You think about public schools, even. That's a pretty simple example. But the EEOC came out recently just to reaffirm that businesses do have the right to do so, as long as they make exemptions for certain employees that may have, American Disabilities Acts, or if we've got a Civil Rights Act violation. So as long as it's not violating any of that, it is absolutely legal to do so.
And how much do you, from what you've heard from even your clients, would you advise your clients to do it, number one? Number two, how much chatter is there from what you're aware of all around the country right now in the business community on this subject with the vaccines now rolling out?
It's a hot topic. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's kind of wondering. The big question is, well, two. One, when am I going to get it? And second is, will businesses mandate that their employees get the vaccination? And really, again, it is legal to do so. But what I'm hearing from most companies, most leaders in those companies, is that it's just a line that's very difficult to cross, to really mandate that somebody has to inject something into their body. Now we will absolutely make it as convenient as possible for people to be able to very simply get the vaccination. So we'll pay to have them come to the office. We'll give them time off, make it as simple for them as possible. But actually mandate it, I think I'm in the majority here. I think most organizations aren't going to be willing to take that step.
If employers are given the authority to go ahead and make this decision, we saw what happened with Thanksgiving gatherings and travel, and now we have the Christmas week, and it's obvious that spikes were not far behind that. What about employers telling employees what they can or cannot do in terms of travel and vacation and things like that? Is that something else that's being discussed?
Well, I think most companies have done that already. They've taken action to, if you go to an international country, there's a quarantine period when you return. Most companies that I'm aware of, I know we were doing this, would require that you stay away from the office for 7 to 14 days once you return. So they probably have some of those in place already. The question will be, what happens long term again? Does that become a permanent rule or policy? The real question here is, what happens when the next one occurs? There's the new strain in the UK, which I don't think, doesn't sound like it's going to really be impact this anything that's not normal with this kind of thing. But still, what happens when the next one comes around? How will businesses, or governments, how will they respond to this in this exactly the same way as we've gone through this one? I kind of doubt it, but which ones of these will stay for the long term, I'm not sure.
Well, these are uncharted waters, and we are at a critical junction, it appears, in the life of this pandemic, so it should be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Joel Patterson with the Vested Group, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate your insight.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.